This video is about posture, in particular the round back, in combination with a nerd neck, but also any other kind of spinal deformities. You've probably noticed a lot of people with a bad posture, with a round back, an overextended neck, the vulture or nerd neck, or other deformities. And today, we want to talk about how these problems have developed. And from there, derive what you can do about it so it won't happen to you, and if it did already, how to reverse it. Above all, we want to take away the fear that there's nothing you could do about it. In particular with round back issues, I see a lot of people giving up with a look of utter resignation. Parents tell their kids, sit straight or stand straight, and the kids really try hard, but to no avail. And older people sometimes present with their upper end of the thoracic spine in almost an horizontal position, plus a very pronounced overextension of the cervical spine. This leads to vertigo, herniated discs, requiring surgery through the neck. I want to take away the fear something like that could happen to you and teach you exactly what we have to do to never end up in such a situation, or if you're already there, how to get back to normal step by step. Apart from the pain on top of all of that. The pain in your upper spine, your thoracic spine, pain all over here in this area where you find these deformities. First, we should explain how a round back develops in the first place, or the nerd neck, which is a consequence from that. He's also pondering this question. Look at it from the side. And just imagine this person here is sitting at his desk in front of a keyboard and a screen. The first thing that happens in this posture when you reach out with your arms is that your shoulders are prone to shift forward. And this rounds your back more and more. You have to realize this develops over the course of years or decades. But if it happens to kids, this is particularly bad since their structure is still so soft, so that any deformities that develop can only be corrected with difficulty later in life. It's possible, but requires a lot of effort. Managing the pain quickly is not the problem, but to reverse this adverse development can take months or even years. That means the first thing that happens is that everything here becomes rounder. Viewed from above, the entire posture bends forward like this. And that means a process starts here that makes your head look down, because the cervical spine is taking it down with it. And when I'm standing like this, slumped, and look down, but actually want to look straight ahead, this nerd neck shows up, this severe overextension. If, over time, this becomes more extreme, the upper end of the thoracic and the lower end of the cervical spine will become almost horizontal, with all the consequences I mentioned earlier. If you, yourself, are unaware of this because nobody tells you, or you never check in a mirror what your posture looks like, well, then you are at the mercy of this development. It's important to check up on yourself. So every viewer at home now, please stand like you would, without consciously correcting your posture before checking in the mirror. Stand at ease and look sideways into the mirror. And you might be shocked because you'll realize you're bent over like this. And the first thing you might think is, I've got to strengthen the muscles in my back. In the moment you do that, you are approximately in the same position as a child who is told by their parents to sit straight and thinks, oh, is something wrong with me? And then grown-ups and kids alike, they try to sit or stand straight, walk straight. They don't have a chance. Why is that? Because here in the front, the entire structure is shortened. forward pulling tension has been built up in this direction and in that direction. And that becomes part of the structure and, if it stays like that for longer, will deform the entire chest. And so it becomes a powerful force that pulls you forward. So your poor muscles have to pull back on that and are totally overstrained. It is important to understand that. Of course, a quick answer could be, provided things aren't too bad already, to straighten your back, look in the mirror to check, but don't exaggerate. Don't assume an exaggerated posture. It's a natural stance we're looking for. If it's not too bad already, this correction is doable. But your back muscles work permanently against the pull from the fascia in the front. Your big and small pectoral muscles, the ligaments around your thoracic spine, they've all gotten used to this situation. And to reverse it gives you this burning sensation in your back. And by the way, it's this burning between the shoulder blades that makes a lot of people's lives so miserable. All the office workers slumped over in their desks know what I'm talking about. Let's sum it up. The forces pulling in the front are so enormous that the muscles in the back cannot hold out against them. What could you do? And that's not a bad idea. Okay, let's strengthen my back. Let's do certain exercises that build up my back muscles. I would advise against this approach because the forces that pull you forward will continue to do so. Now, if I have forces that pull forward and I strengthen up in the back to counteract, where does this force go? It has to be transferred, and that means I've built up muscles because of my bad posture. I'm bulking up in the back to match this, and now there's a forward and a backward pull, but something still keeps pulling on the structure. And this is why our suggestion is the better way: to loosen up excessive tension in the front, dissolve it through the appropriate exercises so that all the ligaments, the structures, the tissues that have been shortened are lengthened again. And then it is much easier for your back muscles to keep everything straight. And then you could bulk up in the back, strengthen your back even more, but it is important to understand that the cause is this too strong forward pull and not weak muscles in your back. Very important, similar to problems in your lumbar spine. Those of you who have watched the right videos know about this situation. It's the same up here, and that's why we have to stretch open in the front. Then your body will slowly find its right posture again. And the great thing is, your pain in the back, the hardened muscles, will go back to normal rather quickly. But if the ligaments around your spine have adapted to this posture, then it takes time, a real long time, to normalize that again. The older you are, the more time it takes, because with age, everything becomes less pliable, less elastic. The metabolism is slower. Important to understand is that this overextended nerd neck that makes you look like a vulture is a consequence of this round back. The moment your round back is normalized again, there is no need anymore for your neck to stick out like this, because you are straightened up again. If you stayed with this nerd neck and straightened your back, you would look up into the sky. You don't want that either. This is the reverse situation from before, but if you have normalized everything, your head will automatically assume its normal position, and your neck can relax too, because it is released from this permanently shortened structure, this tensed up situation. And the beauty of it is that when you slowly leave this extremely bad posture, it can't get any worse than that. You'll definitely stop this development. And I claim that by doing the right exercises within 2 or 3 weeks at the latest maybe, Maybe even within days, you will put a stop to this fateful process which has unfolded over a long period of time. And if you already had surgery in this area and you live in panic that you will have to go through this again, I could put your mind at ease. If the cause of this can be stopped and you're not at that point already, everything will be reversed and become better. And if you haven't had any surgery yet because your endangered spinal discs can still withstand the load, normalizing the situation is directly moving the disc out of the danger zone with each passing day more rapidly so. You just have to do the right exercises. And again, I'm at the point where I realize that children, I don't know in what grade, should learn about this. In biology at the latest, they should be taught these facts. But unfortunately, this doesn't happen. And so that this knowledge is finally spread and people know how to help themselves in these situations. Please share this knowledge. Help us educate people. You are supporting a good cause because the more people that know about these processes up here, the better they can handle these situations and the fear and these adverse developments can be stopped.